I went through something that was traumatic, and after going through that and healing through that, it triggered what I call the builder in me. And an entrepreneur is a builder. And I wanted to, my core desired feeling, one is to be autonomous. And I think that comes with entrepreneurship, governing myself. That's very important to me and my spirit.
Welcome to the new Foundation Christian Ministries B1 Marriage and Family Video Podcast. I am your host, Donald McFarlane, and with me,
your co-host, Natalie Irving Mattox. I want to thank our viewers. Welcome back. Thank you for tuning in each week. Remember to subscribe to our channels and like our social media platforms.
Very well. Well, we have the good fortune to continue with a very dynamic, and somebody might say intimidating personality in that of Ebony Walters.
I agree.
But such a great person, as we chatted on and offset, learning so much more about Ebony. Ebony, let me just start by, last time you told us it's like from high school into college, clear what you were doing, you went on to Edna Manley and so on. And you're going to just help us to understand what life has been like for you since then. But one cannot escape, saying that Ebony Walters is a dynamic theater director, producer and creative social entrepreneur who is passionate and heavily invested in building the creative industry in Jamaica, and certainly she will go into the diaspora and beyond. But what is this producer and creative social entrepreneur?
So I'm a creative and social entrepreneur. That's how I coin it. My business is both a creative business and a social enterprise. Or I should say, yes. So we are a performing arts company. Right now we're focusing on using drama as a tool to educate students from in classroom and outside of classroom. So our main service at this moment is staging CSEC literature texts as plays to get students ready for CXC. And as we grow, we'll be using drama and other subjects from maths, sciences, foreign languages, etc. Also, we look at behavioral change using drama therapy. So drama is a healing tool. We work with youths and their behaviors, and just to use that as a way of positive influence. That's how I'll coin it. So first I was identifying as a creative entrepreneur, and then I learned that I'm also a social entrepreneur, and I learned this last year. I was a part of the US Embassy's Academy for Women Entrepreneur program. And that's where I learned more about social business, that you can be for profit. Because some of the times when we think of social enterprise, we think of only not for profit. And that's not true. So once we realize that our niche is education.
Right.
And our thing is ensuring that the child is, or the student, or the youth is learning, comprehending, understanding, building that capacity. And so we are a social business as well.
Yes.
So that's why I go with social creative social entrepreneur. Yeah.
I certainly like to talk and hear more about the business and how all of this got off and so on. But take us back to whatever happened after you entered Edna Manley.
So before our tribute, because I didn't say the name, our tribute performing arts. So I was at Edna Manley. That was about 7 to 10 years before, 7 years I think before I started the business. I did Edna Manley and I did theatre arts. I did that for 3 years. At the time it was only a diploma. I think when I was leaving, the degree program started, but I didn't want to do it as yet. I wanted it to get more time and simmer like food in a pot, bubble before I come in. I did that. I did stage management. I think that was so good. At that time I was hurting a lot doing stage management because I didn't like it for many reasons in our space. So overseas, a stage manager runs everything. Like the stage manager is like top notch. But out here in Jamaica, we don't really value our stage managers enough.
Right.
So I did not enjoy being a stage manager a lot, but I'm glad I did, because by being a stage manager and working as a production assistant or anything like that, I started to learn or observe the businesses in the industry as I work with each. And I started to learn from them, saw issues in our industry, and I think that also helped to push me to have my own business, being a part of that. So I did stage management, and then I moved into radio producing as well, which I liked. And then I got to work with some amazing hosts, so that was a good, I did that for about 3.5, 5 years, somewhere off there.
What would essentially the job description of that which you did?
Radio producing?
Yes.
So radio producer is really someone who is the person who's planning the radio show. So from organizing the guests, coming up with the themes, the discussions, doing the outside broadcast as well. So it's you are really the one who is planning and organizing. Yeah, that's what you really are. So I did that for a minute, and that was actually very nice as well. I always say that was important for me to learn customer service. Weirdly, because as a radio producer, I had to be dealing with every personality coming to the show, from sponsors to artists to anybody, everybody. Or there's a politician coming on, and I had to learn how to really speak to people. Sometimes you call them office and get some attitude, and you breathe and say, "Thank you so much. No, I'll hold. Are you okay, miss? Do you need a minute? Do you want to talk about it?" Trust me, radio taught me that, and I think that makes my business so successful right now. That my clientele, I think, really loves that about me.
Yes.
So radio was important for the journey for where I'm at now.
Right.
Look at that.
So that happened, and then I left radio.
I don't want to miss it though.
Sure.
You speak about the producer, if that was it, but make a contrast between overseas, where this person, stage manager, who calls a shot exclusively, as opposed to here. You care to just shed a little light
About
on
radio?
No, it was the
About
stage manager. I think you did say that, but overseas is quite different.
Right, as far as my research, because I haven't worked overseas, but I have researching and learning and becoming educated.
Yeah.
I didn't have to work overseas, but yeah, not as a stage manager.
Yeah.
So for me, it's just I'm so funny with saying this. Sometimes in our theater industry, we that's something we need to work on, valuing not just the talent.
Alright.
And I think that's overall in our creative industry. Sometimes we spend so much time on the talent that we don't think that the other persons are important. Remember, there's no small rule. We always say that in theater, everyone is important. So because of that, the stage manager sometimes, so some theater company, you might get, I don't want to say bad treatment, but the respect that you're due, you may not get. To a person to understand that you are the one running the show. But what I realize is the veterans, they respect SMs. I'm not gonna, stage managers, I'm not gonna lie. So when I was in that space and I saw that dynamic, it wasn't a space for me. So that's one of the things for my company. I like to really push that everyone feels equal. And I think everyone feels, everyone is. And that's how I work. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Alright, so you're telling us of the things you're involved in, the stage manager, the producer, radio things. What were the other things before getting to your company where you're
those were the main things. And I dabbled into drama for behavioral change as well.
Okay.
So I did that. My first job was actually that. Yeah. So I did that at 19 and I liked it a lot. But then I moved into I grew into different things.
Right.
Yeah.
So this drama for behavioral change, like I said, it's a backdrop educationally. What, you have a class of students?
It depends.
How
so
did you
it's
execute
called
that?
It falls under the applied theatre branch.
Right.
That's the whole category, a whole profession.
Yeah.
And applied theatre looks at using drama for intervention, education. So drama for behavioral change. There are certain games and activities that you use. Working can be with an individual. It can be with a group of individuals. It can be going into a classroom. Normally it's workshops.
Yeah.
So most persons and a lot of NGOs, or some NGOs I will say, use that in Jamaica as a format if they're looking at getting grants, and they're doing, like right now the Spotlight project is going on right now. Easily you could pair that with the Spotlight project looking at GBV, gender-based violence and family-based violence, and educating persons, because you can use drama to do all of that. And influencing persons to maybe how I say this, give thought to how they see things. And help them to look at things in a different way, a more positive way if need be. That's really what it is. But it's still games and activities and discussions. And even discussions, because we facilitate discussions as well. That's one of my things. I like group self talk. That's one of my favorite things to do. So yeah, I did that, and
Alright, so let's move on to a little bit more. Then let's talk about this Shevening.
Yes,
scholarship.
Shevening.
Right, tell us a little bit more about that. And I know you'll be now moving away from your family, who you're so close to take this up. What do you think that would be like for you?
So Shevening came about. It took me 3 years to get my Shevening scholarship, to be honest. My first year I did not know what Shevening was, in the sense of how prestigious it was, how hard it was. I didn't understand that, so I wrote what I call a finke essay. That's how I coined it. Because when I look back at that essay, oh God, embarrassing. Second year I did it, COVID happened, and of course funding went, so it was less, sorry. So I was on the reserve list and I didn't get through. And then this year I got through, so I'm very grateful. So Shevening really looks at persons who are leaders and who are using their network, to make a positive change. And of course, with my profile of, I've been winning pitch competitions with my business model. I've been a part of certain entrepreneurship programs, like with the US Embassy and other things. So I've been doing those work, and of course with the company, we have assisted about 6,000 students since we have been around from 2018. So we have influenced them with our plays, like they have come to our plays, watched, and we've had teachers let us know that they have seen increasing CXC passes. So all of that has taken place. So when I articulate, because that's the thing with Shevening, you need to articulate what you are doing, and I didn't understand that. So once I articulated all of that and even spoke about pitching and winning, I honestly was selected this year, and I'm so grateful. I also looked at my network, how I use that to get fundings or anything that I'm doing. And that happens. So I'll be going to Goldsmiths, University of London, and I'll be doing the Creative and Cultural Entrepreneurship Program. So that's what I'll be doing for a year.
But apart from just saying having earned a scholarship to go to Goldsmiths in London, England, for us to appreciate this more, how you break that down? What is involved in this scholarship? Just tuition? For my audience.
So Shevening Scholarship is a fully funded scholarship.
Fully?
Your tuition is fully covered, your living expenses are fully covered, your plane ticket is sorted out, your visa, arrival money, departure money. So you're taken care of financially, but for me it's the network. That's why I wanted Shevening. Because Shevening is serious about leaders internationally. So it's to network with all of these people who are doing phenomenal things in Jamaica, the Caribbean, outside of this. And for me as a businesswoman, it's always how am I going to do partnerships, things like that. I see potential in really tapping into that network. And as a person from theatre, I don't have the privilege of going in a newspaper and finding a job. Even before I was an entrepreneur, it has always been my network for me that kept me afloat for 10 years, going to 11 now. So that was what really pulled me to the Shevening Scholarship. So I am looking forward to just being there and tapping into that network. And of course, being in the UK.
Yeah.
UK is doing phenomenal things when it comes on to the creative industries, when it comes down to policies, when it comes down to educational program for creative entrepreneurs, when it comes on to fundings, when it comes on to technology and theatre. Like, it's so much going on over there. It's like, wow, I can't wait to drop there and to just soak up all this knowledge. I wish it was longer than 1 year.
It's a year.
Just 1 year. One quick year.
It's to be the masters, right?
Yeah,
right.
I feel like it's so quick and it does that.
So it's
Quick
full
year.
time, yeah.
Full time heavy. I that's what most persons say. It's gonna be heavy. Be on standby for that.
I want to hear about how she's going to deal with not being with daddy and.
Oh, I'm excited. They didn't tell
To be
you.
away from him.
Oh, Lord, I tell them every day. Every day I say, no, going London, right? All the time.
So you're looking forward to
All the
that.
time. I'm looking forward to, because I'm at a stage where I'm ready to be away from my family.
Okay,
In the sense
good.
that, I'm it's not like I'm 20. Oh, mommy. Like, no. It's gonna be good being away from them, and I think alone time is good for you to even grow even more, tap into different aspects of yourself. Maybe even at your home you didn't tap into it because maybe that you didn't feel comfortable in that space, or you just never thought of it in that time. And I think being away will really assist me or help me to grow even more as a person.
Yes,
Right.
yes.
Right, you may have said, but specifically the scholarship and 1 year program is really helping along the creative.
For me.
Yes.
For the
you,
so my goal doing my program is in 3 folds. One, of course, to level up my company.
Yes.
Because my program allows me to work on my company for a year, your business model. You can even there's a course that allows you to even launch a project or a prototype if I want to do that. So I will be leveling up the business. 2, I'm very much interested in educating other entrepreneurs. It's not just about me.
Right.
Other creative and cultural entrepreneurs. So once I come back, there's certain programs I want to implement in Jamaica as well. Working with, for example, the British Council, just other organization, like-minded organization, internationally and locally. And implement those, because I always say the driver of an economy is the entrepreneur. And if our entrepreneurs don't have the tools to have sustainable businesses, which is the education, how is the creative economy going to grow? And how are we going to make that impact we want to make on Jamaica's overall economy? So we have to educate our creative cultural entrepreneurs to get this done. And because we're a developing industry, there's so many gaps.
Right.
There's so many business opportunities in our one industry, but sometimes we don't realize it. So I want to work on that. And then lastly, I'm also a founding member of Jamaica's newest and only theatre association. So of course, whatever knowledge I get there in partnerships, I want to funnel it through that organization as well, to look at how we're supporting our creatives overall, our theatre practitioners and our theatre entrepreneurs as well. So yes, that's a lot. Woo! Hearing myself saying it for 1 year, that's a lot. But that's really all of those things are what I really want to look at while I'm over there, and really network and keep. When I come back, bring back those networks that will keep talking, meeting, sharing ideas, so that I can keep growing and help Jamaica to grow.
I want to backtrack a little bit. Your company is just perhaps how old?
Just 2018, so what are we now, 3?
Right. So,
this is a baby.
So just asking, looking at you and hearing you and everything, I know that being an entrepreneur was inevitable. What may have generated an interest at that time when you started your own business? And I'm asking a question against a backdrop. Was there any broad operations that would have allowed you to have fulfillment, giving of yourself, or it was just necessary that you do that so you can do these things that were embedded in you too?
It's a good question. There's a specific answer, but I'll go very general for it. I went through something that was traumatic.
Okay.
And after going through that and healing through that, it triggered what I call the builder in me.
All right.
And an entrepreneur is a builder. And I wanted to my core desired feelings, one is to be autonomous. And I think that comes with entrepreneurship, governing myself. That's very important to me and my spirit. And being able to operate my own business, being in control of how much I earn, really pushed me there as well. 2, I have an issue with, I'm concerned that there's not enough entrepreneurs or businesses to sustain each person in our industry. So that they can earn.
Right.
So that also pushed me when I observed that, and I was going through that. Me and my young friends were talking, oh, where are we going to work? We're always having that issue. And I said, you know what, I want to be that change as well. Instead of just sitting and saying, oh, where are we going to work? Okay, I'm an entrepreneur. This is where we're going to work now. This is what we're going to do now. And then empower other persons to do the same thing so we can increase employment.
Sure.
So, but I know my main thing came from that traumatic moment, and healing and coming out of that, feeling powerless in that moment, and finding back and empowering myself.
Yes. I want to latch on to that, Natalie, because we like principles.
Right.
Against a backdrop of this B1 marriage and family, and working generally in church and so on, is an opportunity that was birthed out of adversity.
Yes.
That's what it is. That's what it is.
Yes.
Yeah.
So relatable.
And how can we overemphasize and make a point of that? Perhaps for somebody who may be even watching and is experiencing this at the moment. I've thought so much about this, but will never cease because it's timeless. And I can appreciate that sometimes when we are going through the adversity, you want to close the doors, pull the curtains, turn off the lights, disconnected from the world. But at the very least, let us plan something that somebody can remember.
Right.
That beyond this, there's even greater than you have been exposed to and experiencing right now. And then the beauty now is when I have come to this stage where I'm stepping outside of even Jamaica into London where I want to be and be exposed to all of that, is there not a place to even go back to the adversity and say, adversity, I thank you for?
Thank you.
Oh yeah, I always say.
You see what I'm saying?
I always am thankful for that. Because in the moment I feel like, why me? What's going on now? But trust me, that was the push I needed.
Yes.
But what I would say to anybody going through anything at this moment, the truth is that you're going to go through the time when you close the curtain and you lock up.
Yes.
I went through that.
Yes.
Don't think that because you're somebody right now having this successful moment that I never close the curtain and hide too. I did all of that. I did my whole breakdowns and all of that too.
Yes.
But you take your time, you find whatever healing technique you need to use for yourself. You take your time there, take care of self first, and then you move, and then you start, the doors start opening up, you start moving out of that.
Right.
Yeah, take your time with yourself.
And without laboring, that's what I'm saying. And sometimes it's perhaps seemingly futile, meaning to even try to get outside of this. But this is the point I'm making. I want the knowledge of knowing that a greater day is coming. You have that knowledge. So when you journey along life's pathway and you come to the worst cul-de-sac, the greatest night experiences, that you can remember that this too will pass.
Yes.
That kind of, you're still going through your night and your lockdown, but somewhere in the deep recesses of your mind, you know that this too will pass. And I think that has some help in how you navigate.
Right.
This kind of difficult time is a teaching point that I'm on.
Yes.
Because life, they say, I don't know, can sometimes be ungrateful. I don't know life in of itself, but just experiences.
Yes.
So we want to come away with your journey and story that there were difficult times when the stage manager's treatment that should have been given was not to treat less than. Difficult times of this adversity. But here you are now, propelled directly on, well, I was going to say almost single-handedly, to a better place, a bigger place. And so we have to say thanks for the bad things sometimes that happen. You know?
Yes.
So you can come into who you are and what you really need to do. But as we wrap, for me, Natalie, the final thing with you, Ebony, is I like the fact too that you are understanding the generating of business and hence options and opportunities for employment for other persons coming back to work in this Jamaica here. But to segue a little bit, what you do, the healing through drama, all the creative stuff and so on, I don't know, I'm trying to remember, I know you've done it in the educational field for workshops, How would it be any different in terms of, say, you're tapping into relationships, family life? Like that, say we have our festival and couples. Yes, and you are the resource person coming in, because as couples we have all kinds of issues and so on. How do you see your qualification, your experience, your knowledge, what you do?
I think it's possible. I haven't done it personally, but I could think it's possible. There's actually a drama therapist in Jamaica, certified.
Yeah.
Yeah, my best friend is one.
Oh,
Zara.
okay.
So when they said it, I thought of her first thing. I'm like,
yes.
let me check with Zara.
Yeah.
But I don't see it not being possible.
Right.
Because it boils back to activities that you're doing. And if I can do group activities with 10 persons, I can do it with a couple, 2 persons. So yeah,
a group of couples.
Our group of couples.
Yes.
It's just to tailor the lesson plan.
Exactly.
To ensure that I'm thinking couple oriented, relationship oriented.
Yes.
But yes, that is possible.
For many of us, need healing.
Yes, it is. How many of us do? I swear.
Yes.
Yeah. So, yes, I mean, really want to thank Ebony for coming. I mean, we enjoyed talking to you. You took us on a great journey, I think, having been in a solid family, have had a good foundation, the support from your parents, propelled you into who you are today, just your own pursuits, using your own trauma and making it into this creative business, and now, being achieving, I should say, scholar. I mean, just awesome. Some good stuff coming out, and we appreciate you. Thank you so much for coming. I want to just thank our sponsor, Mattox Health and Fitness, our resident producer, George Malcolm Walker, our program coordinator, Damian De Aguilar. Thanks to the team. Thanks to our bishop, our host, Bishop McFarlane. Thanks to all the supporters. Remember to subscribe to our channel. Press the bell for notification. Thank you.
Our best wishes as you go on to London.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you.